Freddie. I got me a little libation.
Man, I'm drinking water right now. I literally just woke up like 10 minutes ago.
I'm just drinking coffee. I feel so left out. I feel so left out. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. 15 good minutes. Coach B here. How we doing today, Freddie?
Doing well, you?
Doing good, man. LB, what's up?
I'm fair. I'm going with fair today.
I'll take fair. We don't have the wonderfully excellent Charles
Yes.
today.
I'm missing Charles already.
He just sent a text. He said basically, you can't make the show because he just bought a new phone. Now, I don't know what that means.
He's technically challenged.
Right. I mean, I just don't know what that means. Are you stuck at the store? Is the phone not working? Do you join the call from your phone? I honestly, and so what I do it with stuff like that. I don't know if you guys are the same way. I just send them one of those.
Yep.
Yep.
Good luck. Yep.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We will rock on. We'll rock on without them. I got a point that I'm going to come back to LB, something we were just talking about before we went on air. But so I got this story, and this is going to lead to what I want to talk about today, right? The other day, me and a couple guys, Rick and Steve, we were going on this trip to go out to this place in Maryland, right, to photograph these birds. And we had this conversation along the way. A lot of it actually centered around golf and the fact that Steve had his home built next to a golf course on purpose, and then they took the golf course away, Glendale, and he said it was
Glendale, okay,
yeah, and he liked it. You know what I mean? It was the thing, and I mean he became the HOA president for his neighborhood, all of those things, and then they took it away, and it led to this conversation about, and I don't know, maybe you can tell me where they stack, but how at one point Prince George's County was deemed the richest black county in America.
Yeah.
But to Steve's point, there were no services. You know what I mean?
Yep.
No services. And how we come to accept things that maybe we shouldn't have to accept. And I told the story. I was like, there were a lot of reasons why me and D left Maryland, but one of them was lack of customer service and a lack of good places to go eat. Yeah. And then he made the point. He said, man, every time I come down your way, my toughest decision is where we're going to eat, because, you got really good quality choices all over the place. And I think it matters. So I know LB, I know you dine out. I know Freddie does too. I was going to ask Charles if he does, because I'm just not sure. But what I want to know is, like, do you have what I call a go-to spots? And I mean go-to, LB, like in a you don't need a reservation, but you go there, you go there for a reason. And then you have some places that you make a reservation for. What are your go-to spots and why? And what do you get from them?
Okay. Let me start. Well, I'll start with the first one then, which is recently discovered. So I live in Upper Montgomery County, not far from the Frederick line, call it Damascus, Maryland. And there's a restaurant between Mount Airy and Damascus. It's called Lou and Joe's. And if you look at it from the outside, you wouldn't stop there. and honestly, I've lived up here for 26 years now. And I just went to this restaurant this year. I passed it for 25 years. I've passed this restaurant and never stopped.
What made you go this time?
Well, let me tell you why I never stopped there. Because on the outside, it looks like a place that I, being a black man, would not be welcome.
Got you. Okay.
There's always Harleys parked out front. It's got that kind of vibe. It's old, kind of shanty looking a little bit. It's got a liquor store on one end. Right. A bar.
Laundromat on the other side.
Bar area in the middle, and then the dining room on the far end. And again, it was always old cars, pickup trucks, Harleys, that kind of stuff in the parking lot, never stopped. So one day, my friend and I, we looking for some place to eat in somewhere different. And we was like, well, and we were on our way somewhere else. And then we rode past this place. And I told her the same thing I just told you. Never stop there, da-da-da-da. We pull in there and we go in. I eat that place almost every week now.
Get out.
So it's American/Thai restaurant. Okay. The people are great. The food is reasonably priced, huge portions. I've tried every time I've had a couple things twice now, but every I haven't had a bad meal yet. And I've tried Thai stuff, I've tried the fish, I've tried the shrimp, I've tried the lemon, no, the pepper steak with the Thai, with, whatever that is. I have not had a bad meal yet. The service has always been great. The servers are I've had a white female, I've had an Asian man, I've had a Middle Eastern man as a server. So everything that I thought this place was, it is not.
How do you feel about that portion of it, though? That means that for decades,
I've been riding past this joint. I've been riding past this joint for 20 plus years and never, and just because of what I saw, I just felt that's not a place for us. So we would go past it, go to Mount Airy, go to Frederick or wherever. So it's called Lou and Joe's. Let's see what thinking. I wrote down some notes. Gonna make sure last week, but we'll take that back. 2 weeks ago, I ate that twice the same day. My daughter and my grandkids were down for lunch. So they wanted to eat, and I didn't want to just go get pizza like we would normally do. I said, well, we'll go to Lou and Joe's because they got again huge menu. Everybody got something they like. The kids ate everything. My daughter ate her food, and then they went home. And then later on they eat, and my girl came by. She's like, "What do you want to eat?" I'm like, she's like, "Well, let's go to Lou and Joe's." I'm like, "Well, I just ate that for lunch." Then I said, "Well, but you know what? I can get something else off the menu." And we went right back in, and the same lady was serving us. And when she walked up to the table with the menus, she was walking, and then she kind of slowed down and like, did I just see this guy? And I looked at, I was like, yeah, that's me. That was my daughter and my
that is
grandkids earlier.
funny.
So yeah, that is my new go-to spot. Now I have a couple others around here. There's a place on the street whose name I can't. And again, I've lived here for 20 plus years. We've gone well since they've been open. We've been going that place. But it's a Mexican place, Salvadorians, Peruvians, last Mexican, and the name of it. And this is just my bias. I just call it Little Mexican because I really can't pronounce the name of it's it's got too many syllables and vowels. I can't figure it out, and I always say it wrong. So I just call it Little Mexican. And when I say that, everybody who knows me knows where I'm talking about. That was my. It still is one of my go-to spots when I want Mexican. Good service. I get pretty much the same 2 or 3 meals there when I go. So much so that when I do go, the waitress will say your usual, and I'll most times say yeah, or we'll change up.
That's your spot. That is your spot. When they can say that. Yep.
Yep. And my other go-to spot is a local pizza place up the street. It's Brick Oven Pizza, Giuliano's. Again, same great service. The same 2 people have been working there for the last 15 years. The one guy who's I'm gonna say I know I'm gonna call his name wrong. It's either John or Dave. I always say it backwards. It's one or the other, and I always say the other. When he was working as a teenager, now he's old enough that he actually served me wine. Because for a long time he couldn't even serve me wine because he was still, he was in high school or whatever. Great service, same thing. I get 2 or 3 different items, same place, and she knows I like their Pinot Grigio. So every time she'll come past, another glass of Pinot Grigio? Yes, you know me well. Thank you. So those are some of my go-to spots right here in Montgomery County. And to your point about PG County, yes, there is no food in PG County. When I was born and raised in PG County, and when we wanted to shop for prom or graduation, you wanted a suit or something like that, we went to Whitefield Mall in Montgomery County. We went to Springfield Mall.
Yep.
Or we went to Tyson's Corner. There was no place in PG County to go, especially after the 80s when the Landover Mall died, and you had your Cavaliers, Men's Shop, those kind of places in Landover Mall, and
listen, we all went
Iverson Mall. We had no choice. That's all we had. But when I was spending my money, not my parents' money, then I went to Whiteflint or someplace else to get those kind of things.
To be honest with you, I think when I was in the DMV, I think I was so familiar with the area to where I kind of go-to spots for whatever. Now, in Dallas, one thing I've noticed about Dallas and the DMV, there's every type of restaurant you can that you want, right? So now for me, the adventure in Dallas is actually finding new places to go. There was one spot that I forget the name of it, but it was probably the best. You know, when me personally, if you're in Dallas and you're saying, "Hey, you want seafood?" I'm very skeptical when you say seafood in Dallas because we're not near
Yeah,
anybody.
where's the water?
Right.
So it's kind of like whatever. But this particular restaurant, they crack everything open for you, and and the shell is still there and everything.
Mhm.
Now, mind you, you pay for that, but the meal it was absolutely probably the best. I forget what it's called. I forget the price. I think dinner it was like $625, and then
Damn,
tip
for a party of food.
just two.
No.
Two.
Uh,
I
no.
learned something. I learned something. They had some sort of lobster from, I think it was from Africa or somewhere, and and I learned when it says market price.
Uh-huh.
Market mean they can charge you whatever the hell they want.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
if your market price is Africa and mine's coming from Boston, hey, I'm winning. Winning.
It was a special occasion, so but the food was so good. They did
It ought to
value.
be.
The food was great. The service was great. So I was like, okay, the six something bill. I was like, wow. And then the recommended tip, but the service was good. So I was like, bless them
Let me
too.
ask this question, Freddie. Did they wash your car while you was inside?
I watched my car myself. I watched before. It was a special occasion, so the car was washed.
Car was already
Okay,
clean.
all right.
Yeah, it was already clean.
I think that's I hear a couple of themes. I mean, for me, there's two types, and my go-to if I have to go somewhere like right now, it's usually always going to be like Red Robin. I like a burger. They have Stella on tap. It's the little things, and almost like with LB's case, if they don't know our names, they know us.
Mhm.
Because we sit in the same place and she knows right away, okay, she's drinking a Guinness and he wants a Stella. Yep. And the size, because they know all of that stuff.
Right.
And I think there's something to going somewhere where you can just have that, LB. You know what I mean? Like the service that was, really missing in PG County. It's like in that part of it, and I don't want to cast a negative net over it to all you good folks that live in that county, but they almost made me feel like I did something wrong coming there.
Yep.
Services with an attitude. And then you go to LB's point, go to Montgomery County, Washington, D.C., or Northern Virginia, and they're like, what you got? And you might say, I'm not sure. And they're like, okay, well, they get into the conversation with you and they help you. And I think if you can go to a restaurant and lose time and to that point, my what do you call it? Reservation spot is Capitol Grill, and LB and I and Coach Howard, we don't go just to that spot. We have a rotating thing where we go out to a restaurant like that every month. And I swear, every time we do, it never feels like where'd that 3.5 hours go. Right. So part of it is the company I'm with, but another part of it is the service. Now, I take exception for that. I was going to say I'm okay with paying for service to a point, right? Your point, Freddie, is way the hell out there from where mine is. But we've done things like all of us will be there, and that cost doesn't come up. There's a certain level of expectation. And my whole thing is like, okay, I'll use LB as an example. You got a cat that's worked his whole life as a child, went to school, as an adult, now retired. Do you really want to take your money and your time in your family to a place that the food might be good, but the service is shit. And you know what I mean? It's that part of it that's hard for me to quantify, because sometimes the service is more than that. The food can be average, but if you feel like, man,
feel welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You will go back, you know what I mean? And I think you got to have that balance. And I just felt after the conversation with Rick and Steve that they're both doing big things. Now, I think Rick is in Charles County, right? LB, like I know he
moved down to Waldorf.
Right, but there's not a lot out there either.
No, it's not.
It just isn't there, and I don't think we should have to settle. And that's wherever it is. And if you are constantly leaving your state to go to another state to either get your prom clothes or, go out to dinner with friends,
That's
you
a
might be
problem.
living in the wrong state
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
it just, we've put too much in and all of us, no, none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. So why can't you expect to go out, spend a couple bucks, hang with some friends and have a good meal,
When my wife and I were engaged and talking about where we wanted to put down our roots, the one caveat, she didn't have a whole lot of them, but one of
Right.
them was we are not living in PG County.
Wow. For that, for the reasons that we stated?
For all those same reasons. You pay all these taxes, you don't get no services, there's nowhere to shop, there's nowhere to eat. You know what I mean? Everything is second, it's almost like second best out there. And again, I'm born and raised there, so people don't hate me for what I'm saying. I mean, I lived it, so I know.
I went to school there.
Yeah, I know what it is. So that was
Didn't
her only.
frequent PG County.
Well, now, because here's your thing, Freddie. You really claim to be a DMV guy, but you're just a V guy. You are just a V guy. You came here, and not only did you just live in Virginia, you picked like the richest county, right? You coached at the richest private school. So your interpretation of what me and LB are talking about, slight difference.
DMV. I'm just the D.
Right. Exactly. There was no M in your scenario, but growing up in like Forestville and I'm talking about elementary school, middle school, and high school.
Yeah, I grew up in C Pleasant, so we know what that is.
There you go. There you go. I used to ride my bike there all the time. And so that brings me, I got another thing I want to pivot to a quick question before we go. Like, you guys may remember a couple weeks ago, one of LB's I got something to say was basically, a conversation about something about when expectations have been set and those expectations weren't met. And through no fault of our own, somebody tells you that such and such is going to happen by a particular day or time. Not only does it not happen, you gotta run that down to go figure out what the hell's going on. And if I'm not mistaken, you finally were able to go pick up the thing that you were promised some time ago.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Yeah, so quick story, folks. So I have a 73 Mustang convertible. So it was my dad's. So I've kept it up and put some money into it and restored some things. I was getting it body work done. Found a guy through another guy, happenstance, meet a guy in a parking lot at the Home Depot. He sees my Mustang. He comes out, talk about his Mustang. He's got a 66. He's restoring, and he shows me pictures of it, and it looks really nice job. And I asked him who did his paint work, his body work and paint. He tells me the guy. He's like, oh, this guy's great, good prices, does a good job. I'm looking at the pictures. I'm like, yeah, he did really good work. So I go talk to this guy and take my Mustang to him, and he takes it. And he says, "Okay." He tells me, I'm gonna say 3 weeks. I think he said 2, but I'm gonna say it's 3. And this was October the 17th. I dropped it off on October the 17th. I picked it up today.
Ooh!
I picked it up today.
How does it look?
It looks good. It was I'm trying to be nice, but it is what it is. It looks good, but he did a great job in the body. He did a really good job in the paint. The things that bother me was, well, other than being a month and a half later than what he said. 3 weeks ago, I surprised him and just drove out there.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
And my car is sitting over on the side, ain't even been touched yet. It's been sitting there at this point. It's been sitting for 4 weeks, hadn't been touched.
Questions, right? So question. So when you dropped it off, and October 17th, did he give you a definitive date in which it would be finished and a price at that time?
Yes, we did.
So he exceeded that by a month and a half, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did he give you, or did you request an equitable adjustment?
I did not because I didn't for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to have to stab him. 2, the price that he gave me originally to do the job, in my opinion, was very, very low.
Would you recommend him?
No.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, I would not. Only and just for those reasons I just said.
Not because of the work, but
not because of the work, not because of the quality of his work or the price. It's because he's gonna be slow with it, and the little things. Again, my car's there's dust everywhere. I mean, I got to basically go in there and you know, it's gonna take me 2 or 3
I think
wipes
too,
to get
though,
all the dust
you
out
have
of there.
to me, I got to take points away, LB, when I get it, things happen.
Yeah,
Okay. But if the date that you promised me comes before you contact me, you have lost in my world.
yeah.
Even if you got a high priority job came in or some movie star came in and you're like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
coach, I got to put you on the back burner. If it was promised to me on the 20th and you telling me this on the 10th, I'm disappointed, but we're here. But
Right,
to hear nothing,
right. I
some
got
period of
no
time,
communication, no
have to
communication.
go through the text wars
Mm-hmm.
and then more time, and then have to do the flyby
Yeah.
to be like, yo, man, what the hell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When
Then
I
So,
then the quality of the work to me takes a backseat to.
yeah, to the service.
would you say he charged you half as much as you thought it should have cost?
Yeah,
So you're gonna
Right.
say you got what he paid for?
So you yeah, essentially you got what you paid for. So I mean that extra money you saved, guess what? I would have took that car to somewhere to get it detailed. You
mm-hmm.
know, I'm gonna clean the dust and all that stuff. But
Right, right.
and I get it. It's stuff like that. So it really depends on, okay, do you want to pay twice as much and get your car back on the 17th?
I'm glad you got the Mustang back,
Me
and
too. Yes,
I
I'm
guess
glad. Yeah,
as time goes by, I'm really glad that the work was done the right way, because I mean
yeah,
that's what really sent you there in the first place. But
yeah,
I think if there's a theme to today's topic, is that it's okay to expect good service in whatever it is
mm-hmm.
that you do, and
And to pay for customer service.
pay for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
if you go, that's something that we should all take pride in. I agree with Freddie. I'm probably I don't know if lenient's the right word, but I'm understanding
Right.
to a point.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes just a little time to smile and be thankful, be curious. But what LB said a couple of weeks ago that resonated with me was, um, if you say you're going to do something, you have to do that. And you
Right.
can fill in the blanks for whatever the hell that is. You can use that in life with your kids, with your grandkids, whatever. Think about it before you say it. But if you commit to it, just commit to it.
Try to
So,
meet
and
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
talking about saying stuff before we check out. LB, you got something to say today?
Yeah, and I'll make it real brief. So I have a jailbroke what's a Fire Stick. So I get all the channels, right? And I'm on this. They got the sports channel with just 300 channels or however many of just sports stuff.
You're
There are
incriminating yourself.
say again.
You're incriminating yourself.
Well, it is what it is. Everybody got one. And if they arrest me, they got arrested half of America.
Got you.
So in the sports channel, I'm seeing more and more things that I can't believe are on TV. Today, I kid you not, 40 minutes ago, before we started this show, I was flicking through the channels. There was Frisbee golf on TV. On TV. A whole channel, a whole show showing dudes with throwing Frisbees through the trees, over lakes, into a basket.
Looks like a bird feeder.
Yes. This is on TV. Why? And I understand we got 100 channels. You got to put something on them. But can we come up with something else? Between that, have you seen this thing? The warehouse games. I don't even know what they play. It's like they're playing stickball, baseball combination. What's the thing you when you was a little kid? T-ball. But it's in the warehouse and it's professional. They got teams. It's on the TV.
You're not talking about highlight, are you?
No.
No.
These are dudes with big bellies and long hair and hippie-looking dudes playing some kind of baseball game in a warehouse. I never stop because I'm like, I can't believe this is on TV, and I just go right past it. If we have, how about this? Cut down the number of channels and take this.
So you said quality over
quantity.
quantity.
Cornhole tournaments. Come on, man. Are we watching this for real? Are we watching cornhole on TV? They got shirts with
Logos
sponsorships and all this stuff on them.
Okay.
Come on,
People
man.
in Kentucky are watching those cornhole championships.
Man, we got viewers in Kentucky, Freddie.
We got one at least, Rodney.
Right. We know he got one. Freddie, how about you, man? You got something to say today?
I do not. I do not.
Fair enough. Only thing I got to say is, tune in next week. This weekend are the I forget what you call them. I want to say conference championships. That was called, Freddie, in football.
Yeah, conference championships.
Yeah.
Conference championships. So we're going to break those down and help shape up the NCAA football next week. We're going to have the entire team of Golf DMV here with us next week. So we'll probably go a little bit longer. I'm looking forward to that conversation.
We're going to have a showdown.
We're going to get a couple answers to some questions. So Claude, you need to come correct. I'm just gonna say that. Come, we here.
Bring it to him, Freddie. Bring it to him.
We here. I got my man. I got his back. We here. So come in next week. We'll break down those conference championships. See what's going on, because there's a lot of movement just this past weekend in college football that shocked some. So stick with us. Have a great weekend, and we will see you guys next week. We're out.